the U.S. be open to an agreement with Hamas to get American hostages released separate from the Israeli hostages, like including Adon Alexander?
Well, I think our priority always, as the U.S. government, is always that we care about all the hostages. We want all the hostages released. We believe they should all be released. Okay, and that, by the way, we talk about hostages, we're also talking about bodies. Okay? And these trades are being made, and they're ridiculous trades. We're talking about 400 people for 3. These are nuts. And on top of that, you see the condition these people are being released in. So this is think about what we're talking about here. I mean, we're sitting around as the world sort of accepting that it's normal and okay for you to go into a place, kidnap babies, kidnap teenagers, kidnap people that have nothing to do with any wars, that are not soldiers, that are not anything, and taking them and putting them in tunnels for almost a year and a half. And we're acting like if this is a normal exchange, this is a normal thing that happens. This is an outrage. So they should all be released. So I'm not going to comment on what we're going to accept or not accept, other than all of us, the whole world should continue to say that what Hamas has done is outrageous.
Absolutely. More people should join Marco Rubio for the demand for Hamas to release all 59 hostages, all of them, not just 1 alive and 4 bodies. We are grateful for the intent to release finally Adon Alexander after 526 days and 4 other unalive American Israelis, but this is not enough. Israel is proposing to release thousands of terrorists for the hostages. We demand all 59 hostages to be released. Put the demand and pressure. No more drips and drops, no more little by little, no more leaving men behind. What is the message you're giving to Hamas when you're asking them just for a few? That it's okay to let them have the rest of them in their tunnels tortured. It's not okay. We demand all 59 hostages. Good morning, Shabbat Shalom, day 526. I'll be here every morning until each and every one of them will be back home. 59 of them. It's been 75 weeks since Shabbat, the horrific Saturday of October 7th, and we are still here where some people still can't get it. They still cannot get it. Even when there's ceasefire and Israel is not even attacking Gaza, you have idiot, fucking blind, terrorist sympathizers going and taking over Trump Tower, occupying Trump Tower, calling for terrorist sympathizers to be released instead of calling for the release of the hostages. These Jewish voices for peace, I don't see anything Jewish about them besides wearing a short doesn't make you a Jew. The irony of them calling Jewish voices for peace, calling for someone to be released, that someone was advocating for Hamas terrorists. He was outspoken spokesperson for Hamas in Columbia University, riled up students against Jewish students, against the only Jewish nation, and he didn't call for any peace. None of these protesters ever called for peace. What they called for is the annihilation of Israel, the destruction of Israel. They called for violent resistance. They called for rape to be justified. That's what they've been calling for. So these Jewish voices for peace, fucking disgusting hypocrites. They're not calling for peace. They're siding with Hamas. And thankfully they were being arrested for trespassing. 98 of them out of the 150 that occupied Trump Tower. But they were probably being released because in New York City you have the catch and release. You catch them and you let them go, commit the crimes again. Crimes of trespassing. This is not free speech. Free speech doesn't allow you to take over private businesses and shut them down. Thankfully, the Department of Justice gonna continue with the task force, with the anti-Semitism task force, and they continue. Also, Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, reported that they had arrested more students who were pro-Hamas, who have been spreading Hamas's word on the campuses. Couple of them that they had visa revoked a while ago, and they used an app to self-deport themselves. Yes, they're still here, still being advocating for more death and destruction against Jewish people. Thank you for this amazing achievement and promises made, promises kept by the Trump administration. The campuses are going to be safe. And I can't wait to see that. Meanwhile, in Israel, these negotiations, Hamas went out and declared that they were ready to release Idan Alexander and 4 other hostages, and everyone rushed to say that they've been released and all. But look at what they're demanding from Israel in return. They want Israel to completely withdraw from Gaza, to stop any security checks in the Netzarim corridor, to promise to end the war, to surrender, and let the rest of the hostages, after these 1 alive hostages, 4 unalive hostages, we will have 54 more hostages in Gaza. What are we gonna do then? Are we gonna just sit and beg from Hamas, please release the rest of the hostages, while we have any pressure on them military-wise, where there's no more soldiers there, where we're just sitting and waiting, begging from them? What's gonna be the pressure? What's gonna be the initiative for Hamas to release the rest of the hostages? You tell me, if you will break down and surrender now to all these terrorist demands, what do they learn? They will learn that October 7 was the most successful operation they've ever did. They were able to get Israel to surrender to all of their demands. They're getting hundreds and thousands of terrorists back, just so they can then, of course, as they promise, and they will, commit another massacre on like October 7. As we keep saying, they want to do October 7 again and again. To them, it was successful. They've been so thrilled, including the terrorist sympathizers here in the universities. No, we cannot allow it. We will not allow it. We will not allow Hamas to stay in power and continue threatening Israel and Jewish lives around the world. We will end Hamas, and we will demand, and we are demanding, all 59 hostages to be released together in one phase, in one bus. All of them together. And until that happens, no more humanitarian aid coming into Gaza. All electricity should be cut down, and next, water should be cut down as well. Hamas is living like kings over there in Gaza, having privileges, having Wi-Fi, having electricity to post the propaganda videos, while torturing and abusing our hostages. No more. Put the pressure. Demand all 59 hostages. We would not settle for less than 59 hostages, alive and not alive. Every Jewish person that is right now in Gaza must be let out immediately. And then Hamas, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and any other terrorist groups in Gaza must surrender. And then we can finally continue with Trump's plan, finding new homes to these Gazans. They're not welcome anymore in this area. They proved again and again for decades they cannot live side by side with Jews, and there's no more room for them. They're gone. That's it. And Israel will continue to stay strong, resilient, and proud, and we will defend ourselves with whatever means necessary. On this Shabbat, I want to wish continuous peaceful Shabbat, for the IDF soldiers to be safe wherever you are, for the 59 hostages to be rescued or released immediately, and for the Jewish nation around the world, stay strong, resilient, and proud. And remember that the Jewish nation always prevails and wins. This week we're celebrating the holiday of Purim, another reminder of another enemy of the Jewish nation thousands of years ago, and how we prevailed. It's every generation they're coming. It was the Haman who came to try to annihilate the Jews, and he failed. And then Hitler came and tried to annihilate the Jews, and he failed. And then Hamas came and tried to annihilate Israel, and they failed as well. No one will be able to annihilate the nation of Israel. We are immortal. We will continue living in a homeland Israel between the Jordan River throughout Judea and Samaria to the Mediterranean Sea for eternity. Am Yisrael Chai forever, and Shabbat Shalom.